From the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution, I'm Joel Penordwood with your farm news here this afternoon to wrap up 2024. With the new year comes, of course, some thoughts on crop price outlooks. What will the commodity markets look like early in the new year? Ben Brown is a University of Missouri Extension ag economist, says he's not especially bullish on soybeans.
So I think in the short run, and by short run here, I mean the next couple of months, I'm not overly bullish the soybean market. Are there things that could change that would create a bullish spark, maybe lead us a little bit higher? Absolutely. There always is those opportunities out there. But at least at the current point, over the next couple of months, I'm not really bullish the soybean market. In fact, I'm more bearish and further deterioration. One of the things I have been talking about is if things play out the way that I think they do, the price signals heading into planting are going to certainly incentivize corn acres. And maybe that's the case here this spring. But then when we get around to the fall, if we do have fewer soybean acres due to that, or corn bids some of the acres over to the soybeans, corn creates the incentive to where it takes soybean acres and turns them into corn acres. That creates opportunities for maybe a little bit more of a bullish price pressure in the soybean market later in the calendar year.
Brown says there are several bearish factors that soybeans need to overcome for upward price movement.
I think here in the short run, there's a lot of things that are hanging out there that frankly are more bearish to the market than they are bullish. That's not to say that something bullish can't happen. We look at any potential trade dispute, any potential final ruling on some of the biofuel policies, and it creates an environment where it's bigger risk to the downside than the upside. And that's what's leading a lot of my thinking right now.
Again, University of Missouri ag economist Ben Brown, a good friend of the Ohio AgNet, formerly an ag economist at Ohio State. In other news, USDA's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service reporting about 1 million laying hens are impacted by a positive test of highly pathogenic avian influenza. That's over in Darke County, Ohio. Protocol says those birds will be quarantined and depopulated. And staying on the topic of animal health, USDA's APHIS has also announced plans for a national voluntary livestock improvement program. Now, it's aiming to enhance U.S. swine health. Looks to build on the U.S. Swine Health Improvement Plan that the pilot version launched in 2020. The program will certify sites for monitored disease status, including African and classical swine fevers. Certified sites could limit trade disruptions during disease outbreaks. The program has been modeled after the successful National Poultry Improvement Plan. It'll involve collaboration among producers, state, and federal partners. The public comment period runs from today on through January 30th. More information at regulations.gov. Again, regulations.gov. The National Cattlemen's Beef Association says a recent decision which puts the Corporate Transparency Act reporting requirements back on hold is confusing. Kent Bacchus is NCBA Executive Director of Government Affairs. He says the U.S. Fifth Circuit Court reversed the ruling it had issued just before Christmas and has instead decided to uphold the injunction, blocking the Corporate Transparency Act from taking effect. It's a lot of back and forth, and it definitely is confusing. They say that means U.S. cattle producers have yet another reprieve from filing beneficial ownership information with the U.S. Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN. Those court rulings, he said, have gone back and forth and continue to add to the overall confusion. He also says NCBA urging all cattle producers to consult with their attorney and tax professional for the latest information in case of more changes. Who knows what the future holds? NCBA, he says, is continuing to urge Congress to pass legislation that will permanently protect cattle farmers and ranchers from the burdensome mandate. Again, right before Christmas, it was announced that an earlier decision had been overturned, meaning farmers had just a couple weeks to make some substantial reports regarding beneficial ownership information within their LLCs and farm structures. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this for a look at closing markets.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Let's turn our eyes now towards market numbers as their final close of the 2024 calendar year, and it ended higher for grains, mixed for livestock. March corn 6 1/4 cents up to $4.58 per bushel. New crop corn 4.43 3/4, up 4 3/4. January beans 16 1/4 higher to 9.98 1/4, while next year's new crop 10.25 1/4 per bushel at the moment, 17 cents higher. July wheat up 3 1/4 to 5.69 1/2. Markets brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. December live cattle down 23 cents to 193.85, but further out than that, we saw some gains with February contracts up $1.30 to 191.60. March feeder cattle $1.93 higher to 262.98. February lean hogs 81.30 per hundredweight, down 33 cents. In milk, turning around from some earlier gains, they were down about 12 cents for January to a price of $20.31 to wrap up the year. This is the Ohio Ag Cadet. I'm Joel Norwood. Happy New Year, everybody.